My name is Aleks, and I come from Tallinn. It's an Estonian cybersecurity startup. And firstly, I would like to introduce the topic today. I'm going to talk about privacy and cyber hygiene and how it should be one of the foundations of your perimeter. So who are we? As I said, my name is Aleks. I'm the CEO and founder of Tallinn. And Leo here is our CTO. We're both finishing our master's degree in Tallinn University of Technology in cybersecurity. So we've been in cybersecurity for about 2 years now. Right, so I want to start this talk off with a little video.
How did you decide to become a hacker?
Well, I'm not really sure what it means to become a hacker. That's like some guy in a hoodie who types really fast and stays up all night writing code and cracking passwords. It's not me. I just spy on people and see what makes them click. It's not a bad job.
Mark Hanning, CEO of Qualicart, set to report earnings after their blockbuster IPO.
So you consider this a job?
I put a lot of work into this. I'm not lazy. It takes research to figure out the key players, learn all about them, their families, their friends, what they care about. You have to understand the company's organization. I get a lot of my information from the sales department because they're always so quick and eager. They're hungry. People trust too easily. They don't look at the details. I do. Details matter. That's what I'm good at. It has to look completely believable. It has to look familiar. This is where research is important. It's not some generic piece of spam. It's an email from their boss with their company's signature. It's written in the voice of the boss. It's what he would say if he were writing this.
What about the malware itself? How does that work?
Somebody else out there already wrote all the code that does the actual attack. I'm just using it in the attachment. My skill is in my ability to get a bunch of people to click on that attachment. I always wonder what it's like when the whole thing unfolds on their end, when the panic sets in.
Please leave your message after the beep.
Hey, this is Rajiv in finance. Call me as soon as you get this. Something's up with my laptop. I can't.
Katie, are you on your way into the office? Something's going on with our file servers.
Karen in HR, our benefits dashboard seems really slow. We're getting calls from users on it. Give me a call when you get this. Joining conference now.
Apparently, there's a malware attack targeting our main...
It's ransomware. They're holding us hostage.
We're locked out of everything. I can't even check my phone. What about the backup?
That will take days.
We need this fixed now. Pay it. We don't have a choice. We're reporting earnings in 2 hours.
But how do we know that they'll...
Pay it. Put every single person on getting us back up and running. That's the only priority now.
Okay, it's done.
I have the decrypt key. Mark, we have a big problem. The ransomware was just to distract us. They got inside. They got everything. Customer data, financials, everything.
Qualicart is reeling today from the news that hackers have released the personal information of nearly
The
2
Nasdaq
million
closed
customers.
lower today, led by Qualicart, which was down 14% on news that the recent data breach may be far worse than the company
Its stock
originally
fell to a
acknowledged.
new all-time low on news that CEO Mark Hanning is stepping down after what is turning out to be one of the worst breaches of personal information in recent history.
Do you feel bad about releasing the personal information? All the financials? All the money that was lost?
All I did was get the files. I'm not the one that decided to release them. I'm not the one that shorted the stock. Somebody else had their reasons for that. It's above my pay grade. I was paid to do a job, and I did it well. And that's what's expected of anyone, isn't it? Anyway, markets bounce back.
So this was a video by Cisco that ByteLife recently shared. I really like the context that this sets. And no, but it's like, all right. Okay, so question to the audience: how did they get owned? What were the key elements that led to their demise? Yes. Yes. So Mark Hanning's identity got stolen. There was a spear phishing email sent to the employees. So what could have the employees done? It's a message from their boss, in their voice to their boss. Yes, and also maybe ask the question that, has he ever sent such an email before? Has there been a thank you letter like this in all the time I worked here? He usually does maybe company-wide announcements, gathers them all together. So the suspicion is there. And training this suspicion and this data that's out there that can lead to this attack is what causes these kinds of situations. So over 2 billion identities were stolen in 2016 and are exposed. That is 60 identities per second. Yep. So that is a lot. And that is a lot of data out there about everybody, 2 in 3 internet users. And what they're looking for is personal identifiable information. I borrowed this slide from Joseph. It illustrates really well what kind of information are the hackers looking for. They want to become you. They want this data so they can impersonate you. They can sell this data. They can do pretty much everything with it. Create financial frauds, open bank accounts. And right now, what we're focusing on are these that are highlighted. This is what we're doing right now, trying to gather this digital footprint. All of the digital footprint we can't do yet, but right now we try to achieve this. So, a little story about hygiene. So IT guys figured out a long time ago that if you have really bad hygiene, then you suddenly have a force field around you and nobody wants to talk to you. But in the cyber world, that's the opposite. So everybody suddenly wants to become your friend. If all the data is out there, you click in everything, suddenly you have so many friends from Asia and everywhere. So I'll tell you a sad story about bad cyber hygiene. So I teach kids electronics and robotics, and one kid comes to me and says, my mom had a weird virus in his computer. You know computers, what can we do? So I ask him, what does the virus do? And the girl says, it wants us to pay something, and we can't do anything on the computer. So I asked what kind of computer was it, and it was their family computer with their pictures. They had some system for maintaining the chores in the house. Everything was lost to ransomware. So I told her that if you don't have backups, then it's the worst kind of malware you can get. So what are the keys to good cyber hygiene? Awareness is the first thing. You have to know about your digital footprint. You have to know what kind of data is out there about you, and even if you haven't put it there and somebody's been using it, like copying your profiles or maybe Twitter bots, things like that. If you're aware about it, then you can do something about it. If you don't know, then you can't do anything. So limiting your digital footprint. Once you know all the information that's out there, you can start reducing it to only need-to-know basis, basically. What does the public need to know? What kind of public information should I put out about myself? What's dangerous? And also security awareness training, because you need this to help identify attacks. You can't ask the suspicious questions if you don't know what kind of problems there are. You also need online behavior, because you may recently I was shown a spear phishing email that seemed it came from PayPal. A regular user wouldn't notice this. So you won't know when not to click or when to suspect not clicking. So since the majority of time goes into reconnaissance, this is an important factor in security perimeters. So right now, all the technical systems that are in place, the methods, they're really good on the technical side, but what's the biggest vulnerability? Everybody says it all day long, it's the human error. So the human has to be integrated into the perimeter. So the new perimeter would also shift the perimeter around each individual. So it's no longer a contained sort of area where nothing goes in or out, because this is not the real situation. You have an employee who comes to work, does his job, takes his laptop, goes home, sends a few more emails from home, goes to Pirate Bay, downloads some movies, and then brings it back in the next day, and it's already maybe infected, and this is the foothold that may be in the company for the attackers. So here's an example with football. On the left, there's bad cyber hygiene. On the right is good cyber hygiene, where the perimeter is around the person. So they're a lot safer. You can see they don't get hurt sometimes. But why am I important? I'm just a receptionist. I don't care. I just talk to some people, and my job is pretty manual. Who cares? Well, everybody is a target. If you're not a direct target, you're an indirect target. You will be the stepping stone to the next level, and that person will be the stepping stone to the next level. So everybody needs to worry about these problems and worry about where their data is. The argument that I don't care, I have nothing to hide, you will maybe won't care about it, you have nothing to hide, maybe you won't be damaged by it too much, but maybe the next person who is attacked through you is damaged. Also, the general data protection regulation that Joseph mentioned in the keynote also has this quote in it that privacy settings must be set to a high level by default. And this is manually, like somebody asked in one presentation, manually to do in an organization with over 100,000 people. It's pretty hard. So we're helping improve that. And also, if your data is there for marketing purposes, we hear this a lot, that my data is there, it's marketing data, I don't want to take it down, my LinkedIn profile is like this for a reason. Yes, you don't have to take it down, but you have to be aware of the risks, and you have to de-risk the accounts, and you have to know what kind of attacks can come in based on that. Once you know that, that won't be that dangerous anymore. So it's combined with the awareness training. So how can we help you? What we do is we identify the digital footprint, and we help you limit it. This is what we focus on. And right now, I would like to give it over to Leo, who's going to show you a live demo of our platform.
Hello, everybody. I think I can speak up. Everybody can hear me anyway? No? All right. Better now? All right, then. As I heard, today's live demos didn't go well in the other presentations, so let's hope mine will do the job. Anyway, Tallinn Grid is a platform that enables you to visualize the digital footprint about of your company and of your most important assets, which are your employees. So our goal here is to present you like a perspective from an attacker point of view. So everything we want to show you everything that happens after the reconnaissance has been conducted for your company, and how an hacker will actually check where is the most profitable target to you to choose, for him to choose. In the first part of this main view, you have a bunch of analytics that are based on data that are collected for your employees. This is the employee list that you can add. Among these charts, you can see the overall security score, which basically is a number that gives you like a live feedback of what your security score is. Cyber hygiene is basically an indicator of a raw indicator of how many assets you are basically keeping for yourself instead of letting them leaking on the public domain. Privacy score distribution enables you to see where your employees fall in the different secure safe levels. Here you can see the categories of assets that are actually available for your company, and you can check everything in a timely manner with this graph here. And last but not least, this is a spider web that actually shows you how we model the different kind of attacks. So how we do this? We basically, after the research, give some scores to each one of the assets, and not only to each one of the assets that are for each threat. So for example, I can get, I'll give you a nice example. I can get your plates of your car, for example, from a photo that you posted. And with these plates, I can craft an email that will look like coming from the police and say, hey, this is your receipt, you got a parking fine. And they say, oh no, let's check how much do I owe them. You click the PDF and you got the malware. So for example, this is going to be, the plate is going to have a big score for spear phishing, for example. And at the moment, we model these five kind of attacks: spear phishing, vishing, brute forcing, identity theft, and location tracking. On the employee list, that's the most important part. You can add all the employees. For example, here we have our friend Aleks, and you can have quick feedbacks. So you can see what is his security status, where are the social accounts that it was linked to. And the notifications, for example, here, Aleks, some of your passwords are basically available. So you can do manual refresh and mitigate the employee. So what you do, mitigate will create a crafted email for the employee, and will give him like a step-by-step instruction, and most of all tailored for bettering their security online. So, for example, all these assets are leaking, and you get the instruction to say, hey, you have to hide this from Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. All right. Clicking on the name, you can open the analytics, the insights for the employee. So you see all the information that has been found for him. For example, here you see passwords have been leaked from this leak from web host. Yeah, okay. Another part of Tallinn Grid, which is important, is the reports. Reports are divided in three. You can see the threat report. The threat report. Yeah. The threat report. Yeah, the threat report will show you how different assets will contribute to different kind of attacks. Data source report will show you where are the sources of where we actually find the assets for you. So in a second I will show you. Yeah, the sources that we are actually relying on at the moment are LinkedIn and Facebook and have been pwned. For the next month are coming 3 more, probably 4. We will see, and so we will be able to make a better model of the employee to describe him as better as we can and give us accurate results as is possible. And on the employee report, you can see who are the most safe employees and who is the most at risk. So you basically get instant feedback of who are the most critical persons for an incoming attack. Laura got a lot of passwords. Let's check what's wrong with Laura. I guess she got a lot of passwords leaking. Let's see. Oh, here she is. You wanted to see the photo in bikini, I know. Okay. Well, she had a lot of public information out there, and passwords coming from the Adobe leak, which is not good. So yeah, the good thing about this is that whenever your account is found in any of the leaks, you get notified, or your employees get notified, so you know right away when it's time to change your passwords. Okay, so it's time for a live demo. Let's see, I will add myself, and let's see what happens. Okay. So internet is quite slow, but it will do the job. This is basically how I show you how the research works for one employee. So whenever you put one name in the system, our crawlers go around the web and look for information about you, and we return the most appropriate results. So of course you don't have to do it with every single employee because it's time-consuming, I see. But you can add all the employee list with a CSV file from a database dump or whatever you feel more likely to use. So this is going to take a while, but yeah, that's if anybody has any question in the meantime, Mr. John? Yeah, that's mine. The system will ask me, like, hey, we found multiple names, which is the right one? But for the sake of the presentation, I hope it's going to return only one. Yeah, please.
I have a question. What to do with people who expose themselves a lot on social media, register on some crazy dating sites, on crazy party social media, which are famous nightclubs and so on?
Well, basically, it depends. We try to scrape as much information as possible. What to do with them?
Some can be, some sensitive areas, but on the same
Mhm.
social media,
Mhm.
let's say have a life or something like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
How to reconcile this?
In some cases, you actually have power on your own information. For example, what you're putting on Facebook, you can actually remove it. Anyway, it's going to be stored somewhere else.
They want to be everywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not about being stealthy. It's about being aware of what are the risks for with the information that you are giving out. For example, marketing people, they need to show as much information as possible, like social accounts, websites, and stuff. But of course, his job wouldn't work without these things being public, right? But they have to be aware about the risk for these things to be public, because they are more at risk than normal people. So the demo works. And this is my account. This is also another account of mine. And now it's going to assess my privacy score. Yeah, any other questions in the meantime? Well, anyway, if you would like to try it, you can meet us afterwards, and I can show you around, play a bit. Well, I guess 5 seconds. Yeah?
What if I come after the demo and make a search for my name? Will it erase it afterwards?
Well, I can tell you I will erase it, but who knows? Well, anyway, it's just public information, so anybody can fetch the same information somehow. Okay, let's see. Page is reloading. Here I am. Security level dangerous. Yeah. So that's because you know, screwed by my own software. It's interesting. That's because I use a testing email, so I try to have as much leaks as possible, so you can see all of them here. So this is basically all about Titan Grid. Oh yeah, you also have nice notification that tells you what happens in your social sphere, so you also are updated. That's about it, and I'll give the mic back to Aleks.
All right. So obviously, there's no silver bullet. All of this will not make you super mega secure. You will never be hacked. There's no 100% cure, obviously. So what we try to do is we try to make hackers' lives harder. If we make it harder, then they might just give up. They will have lack of motivation. You only need to have the better luck than your neighbor, you know, but that's what they say. So if you're a really high-profile target, the motivation is higher, the resources are higher, then chances are, if they really want it, you will still get breached. But you can prevent a lot of small incidents that could end up being really damaging. So at this point, I would like to move on to a wider questions and discussion round. So I would like to hear your ideas about this. Some of the concerns you might have, or any feedback to us. What would you like to see in our product? Like, what would benefit you from it? Individuals can also use it in the same way, but what we're focusing on is that security teams use it to train their employees and gain control of their information. Anyone else? Yes?
Can you explain crawlers part? Like which kind of crawlers and what kind of exploration?
Yeah, I will give the mic to Leo. He will go over it in depth.
Well, how technical you want this explanation to be, for example? All right. So as technology, we're using Selenium, and which is a web driver that actually runs on our server and loads pages and is able to load JavaScript as well. So it's able to bypass all the anti-scraping. For now, you know, it's like a never-ending fight between the scrapers and the big companies. And we get all the information that is available, and we basically parse everything with regular expression, string recognition to see what actually has been found. Sometimes it's easy because, for example, social networks have the same DOM, the same page source for every profile. So you just know where to point the scrapers, the parser, and you get it. Other times you have to do like collecting more raw data and cross-reference it and to see if it actually means something. And that's all about the scrapers, yeah, and the crawlers as well. Does it answer your question? Yeah. Good.
Any more questions? Yes.
Mm-hmm. You use 3 different names. Well, in that case, the crawlers are going to have some problems to find you, but still, if anybody wants to have you on your in their system, is they can add you manually. So they go fetch your URLs, for example, of things about you, and scrapers, and it will basically say, hey, link this information to this person. It doesn't matter the name. The name is just a handle, you know.
We're also planning to develop multiple aliases, so you can add different aliases under people and different email accounts as well if there's many, so we can monitor all of them if they're in risk. Yes.
Can you edit the results? For example, I saw that one of the dangerous people, I think it was the girl, had a breach with Adobe.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course, there is a possibility.
Because if I alter my password of Adobe, that wouldn't be a risk anymore.
Of course, of course. As long as the person gets notified, he has the ability to say, hey, okay, I changed my passwords, and but this is as far as we can go. We cannot we cannot go check if you actually did it, you know. Yeah, true, absolutely. But this is another story. Maybe we can for another time. But yeah, he has the ability to say, hey, I have a full acknowledgement on this information, so this doesn't count in the security score anymore. For sure, good question.
Also for regular assets, so if you have marketing purposes, things out there, you can mark them that I know, I'm aware of this data, that I don't want to remove it, and then this will also increase your score that you will break awareness.
Mm-hmm.
So once they have the information, they can see what attacks might be more prone to come against their company. For example, they are more higher at risk in spear phishing. Then you can plan your security budget accordingly and invest in like PhishMe or other spear phishing or phishing mitigation softwares. So you can train your employees in this field that's more important to you, so you can build the walls in the right place. Yeah, we're still thinking about how we want to approach this, but there will definitely be automated feedback on suggestions on which softwares to use. But also, I'm sure that we can provide them like personal feedback if they request it. Yes. Any more questions? Well, it's all public information. It's in the public domain, so anybody can look it up. We just make it a lot more easier. It doesn't change the fact that it's already public. So we won't have problems with that. Yes. Yeah.
We could get it from an archive site in some other location,
Yeah, we can help validate the right to be forgotten. So if you want to be forgotten, you come to us, and then you can really see if you have been forgotten. So we're striving towards helping companies get in line with the general data protection regulation as well. All right, we have a little bit more time. If there's more questions, I'll be answering them. If not, then thank you for listening, and we can go to the break. And if you have want to ask me something personally, you can send me an email, or for more information, go to our website. And of course, if you want to test yourself in our system and add your name in it, then come see me, and I will put it in. Thank you.